With the winter meetings concluded, we are going to take a look at what's honestly an uncomfortable week for the Dodgers. And a former UCLA player comes out against the move to the Big Ten. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. I am broadcasting once again from Ice Station Alpha, booty deep in snow in Anchorage, Alaska. This is why I created the channel. I travel a lot for work. I get bored. I want to talk LA sports. If you like the content that we put out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means comment. I'm booty deep in snow. It helps keep the heart beating to actually meet people. So before we go through the news and notes from around LA, a quick look at the scoreboard. LeBron James and Anthony Davis were both out. That pretty much tells you what you need to know. Toronto 126, Lakers 113. Terrence Mann scored 19 points off the bench to lead the Clippers, but Orlando won in overtime, 116 to 111. Trey White scores 15 points for USC basketball. They defeated Fullerton 64 to 50. Meanwhile, today, the Clippers are playing again. They're in Miami. The Clippers are both 7-6 at home and 7-6 on the road. Consistently not great, wouldn't you say? The Kings are in Toronto. Defenseman Brandt Clark, the Kings made a move on him. They've been trying to make sure that they can have him play a high level of competition, but they can't have him play any more NHL games. If they do, his contract then changes against the salary cap. So Brandt Clark was taken by Team Canada for the World Junior Championships, which run through January. So Brandt Clark still, the Kings get more data of him against better competition than just a bunch of college kids. Las Vegas is in town to face the Rams at 5. Aaron Donald may be out. Actually, he is out. So that pretty much tells you a lot about what the Rams are facing against when they go against the Raiders later today. Baker Mayfield could be active, which tells you even more about how much of an uphill climb the Rams have. But let's get to the notes. The Padres took another name off of the, quote, players the Dodgers are allegedly interested in list that we've been keeping up with for the last couple of weeks. That list has now dropped to, I would say, 18. We'll get to Xander Boegarts signing in San Diego in a minute. I want to get to a couple of main points about where the Dodgers actually stand, because I don't like dealing in rumors. I like dealing in what the thought process of our teams have, because rumors are just rumors. Dave Roberts told the press that LA is, quote, going to add an outfielder. Somebody that can manage center field is a top priority, unquote. So that kind of gives you a little hint that third base, shortstop, not as big of a deal to them. Number 2, LA's current payroll is at about $184 million. That is $39 million below the salary cap before you start paying luxury tax fines. If the Dodgers go over for a third consecutive year, not only are you over the line, but Major League Baseball will send a tax. And then because you were over for 3 consecutive years, the tax becomes progressively worse. So the Dodgers, who have been over for 2, are trying not to go over for 3, in my opinion. They're not shedding salary because they don't have money. They're shedding salary because they want to try and keep themselves in a good spot for the future, which we'll get to in a moment. 3, we have conflicting reports on pursuing shortstop Carlos Correa, who is the guy who took part in the Houston cheating scandal that robbed LA of a world title in 2017. I'm going to err on the side of LA passing for the reason I just said. Now, having said all of that, I acknowledge it hasn't been a fun week to be a Dodger fan, but I want to tell you what I think about Trey Turner leaving LA to go to Philly. I want to tell you what I think about Xander Boegarts leaving Boston and winding up in San Diego. Here it is. Both of them are similar to me as the contract that Albert Pujols signed with the Angels. Now, why did Albert Pujols go to the Angels? It's because Artie Moreno wanted to make the Angels, quote, LA's team. over the Dodgers. And at that point in his ownership of the Angels, he was willing to do anything to do it. So he oversigned, he overpaid, he had a contract that was way too long. The Angels actually were paying Albert Pujols last 2 seasons ago. When Albert Pujols was actually playing for the Dodgers, the Angels were actually picking up most of the tab. So, if you look at the contracts that both Trey Turner took to leave LA and Xander Boegarts took to go to San Diego, yeah, they're going to be good for the first few years. I acknowledge that. But Trey Turner is going to be 40 when his contract is up. Boegarts is going to be 41 in San Diego when his contract is up. Hell, a couple of years ago, you remember how the Padres signed Manny Machado? Manny Machado is going to be 38 by the time that contract is up. The entire left side of the Padres infield is eventually going to get old, super fast. And just like the Angels were trying to get rid of Albert Pujols for any sort of salary relief, trust me, in a couple of years, the Padres are going to rue this day. So the Padres went from super young to middle-aged overnight. Are you in your 20s? How would you like to be in your 40s like that? That's what the Padres did. If you went into your 40s, you're going up to pee about 5 times every night and you're munching on Viagra like they're Mentos and you have halitosis. That's how dopey these moves are. So I'm not trying to tell you that Boegarts sucks. I'm trying to tell you that San Diego is intentionally overpaying big time in order to try to overtake the Dodgers. So, yeah, good luck with that. It might work for a year. You might get to the NLCS all over again and get bounced by the Phillies all over again. So no, I'm not panicking over the Dodgers moves. Also, the Dodgers lost players in the Rule 5 draft. Oakland took first baseman Ryan Noda. There was a left-handed pitcher, Jose Hernandez, who goes to Pittsburgh, and a right-handed pitcher, Gus Varland, going to Milwaukee. Rule 5 is basically a way to prevent teams from hoarding all of their minor league talent. Eventually, you got to put them on the 40-man roster, or you expose that player to the draft, where another team would be like, yeah, we'll give that guy a shot at the majors. The LA Dodgers prospect pool is so deep that I can tell you I have not heard of a single one of these players. So yeah, the Dodgers lose players in the Rule 5 draft. But really, are they elite? I don't think so. An LA Times columnist asked the Dodgers asked aloud if the Dodgers are, quote, tough enough to compete in the playoffs. And you know something? That's a fair question. I honestly don't know the answer. Maybe the Dodgers of years past weren't tough enough. 2001, 2020, 2021, 2022. Maybe some of the newbies that the Dodgers might bring up are going to have the grit that some of the recent players have lacked. That's a possibility. I just don't know. Besides that, we do know that the Dodgers have elite prospects who have been knocking on the door for a while. Anonymous scouts say Miguel Vargas should be an everyday major league player right now, for instance. Maybe that's the reason why you haven't heard anything on the Justin Turner front at third base. So, in sum, good week for the Dodgers? No. But would you pay 11-year contracts for players who are going to wind up being 40 by the time the contract is up? 11 years? Is Xander Boegarts and Trey Turner, are they going to be elite for 10, 11 years? That's my point. Ramaji Huma, a former linebacker for the Bruins, sent a letter to UC Regents asking them to block the Bruins from going to the Big Ten. Now, I don't want to clown the man, and I don't want to necessarily clown his letter, but I do want to poke a couple of holes in it. He's not a stupid man. He represents the College Athletes Players Association. So why be disrespectful? Theoretically, his organization looks after the players. Okay, so let's not be completely insulting, but he is claiming that moving the Bruins to the Big Ten is a racist cash grab that is designed to benefit, among others, athletic director Martin Jarmond. Okay, all of those reasons, you take all of these wild reasons, you throw them into a bowl, you mix it up, and out comes racist cash grab to benefit athletic director Martin Jarmond. My problem, Jarmond is black. Hard to say that a black athletic director, an athletic director of color, wouldn't you say, would be a racist against players of color, players who aren't, wouldn't you say? That would be one problem I have. Number two, this is something I've been stating for a long time. I have yet to read a single quote from a current UCLA player. This guy looks like, they don't list his age. I believe he looked from my research, I believe he graduated in 1999. He's around my age. Who am I to be telling 20-year-olds how to live their life, right? So we still haven't heard from current UCLA players. I have quotes from UCLA players that are currently there who want the competition from the Big Ten, who want to be noticed by the pros. So what am I supposed to say? Also, he claims that UCLA does not have a revenue problem. So the motive for moving to the Big Ten must be greed. No revenue problem. Have you looked at the photos of the Rose Bowl for every game other than the USC game? They didn't have anybody. Of course there was no revenue. Hey, did you ever hear of COVID? No, not enough revenue? They did not have enough revenue. Pardon them for wanting to pay their debts. Now, the Regents are going to be weighing in on the move to the Big Ten, allegedly, on December 14th. But this idea that UCLA is racist seems a little strange. The idea that UCLA doesn't have a cash flow problem, that's a little strange. So no, I don't buy that at all. By the way, also for UCLA basketball, Mick Cronin, the coach, said he is asking a lot more of Tiger Campbell lately, since Campbell's a senior. The idea of Campbell being a little bit more aggressive, finding his shot, as opposed to just running the half-court offense. I'm going to say that it's a way for UCLA to add offense with Johnny Juzang having left the school. And after all, there are two freshmen in the lineup. Maybe these guys can't create their shot yet. Now, has it worked out for UCLA? Cronin said not necessarily. There have been some bumps in the road along the way, but it's more his fault than the players. UCLA, by the way, has climbed to 19 in the latest AP rankings. Over at USC, defensive lineman Kobe Pepe is the fifth Trojans player, all of them on defense, by the way, to enter the transfer portal. He played only in 2 games last year. Finally, Tuli Tuipulotu was named the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. He led not just the Trojans, but the nation with 12.5 sacks last year. Oh wait, there's breaking news. Ken Rosenthal is reporting that the Dodgers are allegedly interested in right-handed pitcher Seth Lugo. So now the list of players the Dodgers are allegedly interested in has jumped back up to 19. Like I said, the list is to point out the stupidity of reporters who are not bothering to say, wait, can the Dodgers sign 27 players against the salary cap? Of course not. But you tell me what you think about the Dodgers. Again, not a good week, I acknowledge. But it is a bunch of moves with the eye to the immediate future. Maybe as soon as the summer trading deadline, maybe next free agent deadline. We'll find out. And if you enjoy the content about LA sports, don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk about all the LA teams here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. I'm going to be back home tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Faithful Angelenos is a Can Corte El Queso production. Take care.